An ordinary girl has found a box that grants wishes, but every wish has its price, and some of them come at a very high cost. A blonde woman steps out of the house and throws a bundle into the trash bin. Her little daughter, Claire, rushes after her. She wants to ride her bike. The mother allows the girl to ride to the end of the street and goes inside the house. Claire discovers a nest with newborn chicks among the bushes. The girl is accompanied by her loyal dog, Max. She heads back home, but can't find her mother. Climbing up to the attic, the little girl sees that her mother has voluntarily left this world. At that moment, Claire wakes up. 5 years have passed, and the main character has become a teenager. She rides her bike to school, but a local bully, Darcy Chapman, cuts her off on the road. Claire falls off her bike and injures her leg. Near the school, the girl notices her father rummaging through trash bins with his companion. Claire asks him not to embarrass her in front of her classmates. At school, Claire talks with her friends June and Meredith. The protagonist has made a large poster and wants to hang it in the school hallway. Unfortunately, the bully Darcy appears again and spills coffee all over Claire's poster. What a bad day. Claire's father continues sorting through various junk he's found in the trash. He comes across a music box with Chinese characters and decides to give it to his daughter. During lunch in the school cafeteria, Claire gets into another argument with Darcy, which soon escalates into a full-blown fight. The whole school watches the clash between the two furious girls with interest, and many even record the fight on their phones. After school, Claire visits her neighbor, Mrs. DeLuca. The protagonist confides that her biggest problem isn't the bully Darcy, but a boy named Paul, whom she has a crush on. Unfortunately, he doesn't feel the same way about her. At home, her father tells Claire that he has brought her a gift. The girl goes to her room and finds a bundle on her bed. It's a strange music box with unusual Chinese characters, but for some reason, it can't be opened. Claire discovers that Darcy has uploaded a video of their fight to her social media. Another unpleasant surprise. The girl gazes thoughtfully at her music box. She knows a little Chinese, so she translates a few phrases and realizes that the box can grant her 7 wishes. Claire voices her first wish. She wants Darcy Chapman to start rotting. Night falls. While Claire sleeps, her music box opens by itself, plays a melody, and then closes again. The next morning, Darcy wakes up to find that her legs have turned black, and black sores resembling ulcers have appeared on her face. She screams in terror, but her friends only laugh at her. Claire learns what has happened to Darcy and realizes that her music box truly can grant wishes. At home, Claire takes a photo of her music box and notices that her dog has gone missing. She searches everywhere and finally finds him under the porch. Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, her beloved pet has passed away and gone to pet heaven. During lunch, Claire and her friends discuss Darcy. They are delighted that the local bully ended up in the hospital. That evening, the protagonist looks at a photo of Paul, picks up her magic music box, and makes her second wish. She wants that boy to fall in love with her. The next morning, Paul really does walk up to Claire. The enchanted box opens again and plays its familiar melody. At the same time, Claire's distant relative, Uncle August, decides to take a bath, but he slips and falls. The man struggles to get out, but he fails. Claire returns home and learns that Uncle August has had an accident. It turns out he was quite a wealthy man. Claire grabs her magic box and makes her third wish. She wants Uncle August to leave her his entire fortune. Soon that's exactly what happens. Now Claire and her father are truly rich. They move into Uncle August's house and drive around in his luxurious car. Claire goes shopping with June and Meredith. She can now buy anything she wants for herself and for her friends. Mrs. DeLuca is making dinner. She notices that the garbage disposal in her sink has stopped working and tries to figure out what's wrong. She bends down and accidentally hits the power switch. Her hair gets pulled into the grinding mechanism. At that very moment, Claire sees her music box open and play for the first time. She watches it with great curiosity. The next day, Claire's father shows the girl her mother's paintings. It turns out she was a talented artist. That night, Claire can't fall asleep. She feels as if someone is watching her. The girl steps out onto the balcony, but doesn't notice anything unusual. Paul breaks up with his girlfriend and approaches Claire. He invites the protagonist to a party. The girl intends to translate all the hieroglyphs on her magic box, but there's no information online at all. So, Claire turns to her classmate Ryan because his sister Gina has spent many years studying the Chinese language and culture. Gina translates the symbols on the box. She explains that it's a Chinese magical artifact that grants 7 wishes. If you throw it away or sell it, all the wishes are immediately undone. Whenever the music plays, something always happens. Also, there is the name Lu Mei. It turns out that Lu Mei lived in China at the beginning of the 20th century. A plague swept across the country, and she was the only survivor in her large family. According to legend, she took a special box and prayed for 7 days. After that, a mythical demon named Yao Guai appeared to her. Lu Mei suddenly became wealthy, and all her enemies met unpleasant fates. However, several years later, Lu Mei voluntarily ended her own life. Gina notices one more sentence on the box but can't translate it. She reaches out to her friend Mike for help. Claire and Ryan thank Gina for her assistance and leave. On her way home, Claire spots her father rummaging through trash bins again. She really doesn't like it. At home, the girl makes her 4th wish. Claire wants to stop feeling ashamed of her father. Soon, the man suddenly begins playing the saxophone like a real professional. Gina receives a reply from Mike, gets very frightened, and immediately calls Ryan. Because of the thunderstorm, the power goes out and the mobile network drops. The magic box opens and plays its melody once again. Gina steps out onto the balcony and leaves a voice message for Ryan. She accidentally drops her phone over the railing. When Gina goes back into her room, she stumbles and falls onto the decorative horn of a bull statue. In the morning, Ryan can't reach his sister. He finds her phone on the ground and climbs up to her apartment using the fire escape. Sadly, his sister is no longer alive. Ryan finds Claire and asks whether she's made any wishes. The girl hesitantly answers, no. The youngster tells her that every wish must be paid for in blood. Only then does Claire begin to realize what she's done. During lunch at school, Paul invites Claire to join him. June and Meredith are deeply hurt that their best friend has traded them for a boy. At home, Claire looks at her box and makes her 5th wish. She wants to become the most popular girl in school. Claire goes to a party with Paul. Everyone looks at her as if she were a real celebrity. That's when the protagonist kisses Paul for the first time. At night, Claire has a nightmare about her mother. She feels as if someone is watching her again. She runs after a mysterious stranger, but can't catch up with him. When the girl returns home, she hides her magic box inside the ventilation system. The next day, Claire visits Mrs. DeLuca. Unfortunately, she receives some very bad news. Claire tells her friends about the magic box. Meredith thinks she's crazy. June suggests getting rid of the box because Claire has already used 5 wishes, yet hasn't wished for anything truly meaningful. Despite all her wishes, she's still unhappy. The protagonist goes to another party. She lies to her friends, telling them she threw the box away, and spends time with Paul. Claire learns that he's the one who has been following her at night, gets furious, and breaks up with him. The magic box opens again and plays its melody. Claire's father calls her, saying he has a concert outside the city. At that moment, one of his tires bursts. The man pulls over to change the wheel but is nearly hit by a passing car, and then his own tire flies directly at him. Claire goes to a hotel with her friends. Meredith is playing yet another mobile game and runs to the 26th floor to fight the final boss. Claire admits to June that she still hasn't thrown the box away. Meredith defeats the monster and decides to go back down by elevator. Suddenly, an accident occurs. The elevator cables snap, and the girl plummets down at terrifying speed. June believes that everything is Claire's fault. Claire goes to Ryan. He has discovered that the box had several previous owners, and all of them took their own lives. The reason is that after granting 7 wishes, the demon Yao Guai claims the owner's soul. Ryan and Claire try to destroy the box, but nothing works. At night, Claire has nightmares again. Paul sneaks into her house. He behaves like a real psychopath. Claire forces him to leave, and the youngster threatens to take his own life. In the morning, Claire notices that her music box has disappeared. The police show up at her house. The protagonist and her father are evicted from their mansion because Uncle August hasn't paid taxes for 10 years. They return to their old home. Claire is once again living her former life. Darcy bullies her again. Paul goes back to his ex-girlfriend, and her father is rummaging through trash bins. Claire is no longer the most popular girl in school. She's just an ordinary loser, and very lonely too. Claire discovers that it was June who stole the box from her. The girls start arguing, and then fighting. Claire pushes her friend down the stairs. Ryan begs Claire to get rid of the box, but the main character refuses. At home, the girl makes her sixth wish. She wants her mother to be alive. A minute later, Claire's mother knocks on the door and wishes her a happy birthday. In this reality, she even has 2 younger sisters. Now her life looks utterly happy. In the afternoon, Claire goes up to the attic and finds one of her mother's paintings. It depicts the very same box. This means it once belonged to her mother. Claire hears the familiar melody again. She sees her father working in the yard with a chainsaw and realizes what is about to happen. The girl fails to save him. Claire runs to her box and makes her final 7th wish. She wants to return to the morning when her father found the box. The girl wakes up in her bed. Her dog Max is alive. Claire rides along with her father and his companion. She is the first to notice the bag with the magical box and takes it. At school, the girl finds Ryan, gives him her bag, and asks him to bury it. Claire kisses him and runs away, but moments later, she is hit by Darcy's car. The demon Yao Guai takes her soul. Ryan wants to bury Claire's bag, but out of curiosity, he opens it and finds a strange box inside. He decides to take it with him.